What a treat is it for the city of Brampton to have this Hollywood icon in our city. And I know you get pulled in so many directions. Thank you, Dany Glover, for taking time to be with us today and tomorrow. First question is, what do you think of Canada? How do you enjoy our country?
I've always just a wonderful experience when I come to Canada.
Including the weather? Including the weather?
Including the weather.
The water's fine with me. I live in San Francisco. So you get all kinds of different kind of weather. You know, it's foggy some days, it's sunny some days, it's rainy. The weather is often become incremental. It can be anyway in San Francisco. So, but I've spent a great deal of time in Canada, making movies in Canada throughout my career, and so it's certainly always be a great time with the people of Canada, the people of African descent who live here in Canada. Let's not forget that. You know, it was where slaves at the point of slavery in the United States that men and women trusted their life and headed to Canada. They headed north. Those are stories about that. Those are important stories. We can remember that as it becomes a part of our memory, continued memory. And so the fact that there's so many things to do, so many things to work on, some ways to make Canada better, that's what our responsibility is. As citizens of Canada, and also as citizens of the world, how do we try to find different ways in which we can create a better world, create a better country, communities, and share the extraordinary, amazing wealth of this world that we live on.
Amazing. I have to ask you about the fact that your grandmother said that she didn't want her grandkids to be picking cotton in the summertime. That whole message in terms of she wanting to work so that her kids and her grandkids don't end up picking cotton.
My mother was extraordinary. There was a moment my mother was born at the beginning of the 20th century. My grandparents were born. I remember my great-grandfather. I remember him when I spent times on the farm in Georgia. And I remember the fact that it was an experience for me to watch them. And I watched this old lady who actually I realized was born in 1858. So she was born 3 years before the Civil War. And she had her first child because she lost so many children. She also had experienced so much, devastation. And it wasn't until that period of time where she was able to have her first child, which was my grandfather. And my grandfather was a farmer. When he come down to the farm, and he would we would help him on the farm pick cotton, and it paid us a nickel a pound or something like that. But it's hard to pick a quarter pound. And then we got at some point in time we were so slow, but you got to be fast picking cotton. You can't be playing around. So moving and everything else. He would be we'd be so slow. He would tell us to get out of our way, get out of his way, so he can do his work done. but the beautiful thing is that my mother loved some people who had their mother and father, and said that we're going to send our children to school, and that was the beautiful thing. And she found a wonderful husband, my dad, in New York City, when she went up to New York City or something, and here I am. I'm the first one. But I never been around anyone who loved their parents the way my mother